What is up, YouTube? It is Doc here, Style Gaming, and I am back at it again with another GodFall video for you all today. And in this video, we'll go over one of the many tools that you'll have access to in your arsenal. We've briefly mentioned some things about the life stones, we've gone over battle banners, but in today's video, we are going to be going over the shields. A traditionally defensive type of weapon that, in GodFall, can be used in a lot of offensive ways. There's actually 5 different unlockable abilities for it, along with one that comes standard with the weapon, and of course your defensive attack. So without wasting any more of your time, let's hop into one of the many tools that you'll have access to in GodFall. Now, according to the PlayStation blog article, it says that shields are made for offense. It says, sure, you can use your shield for defense, but it is an equally capable offensive tool. It then goes on to say, here are some ways you can utilize this shield to defeat your enemies. Now, the first of the 7 different ways that you can use your shield is pretty much its standard block, or the parry button. It says you can test your reactionary skills in battle by parrying an enemy's attack, also known as L1, and it says a successful parry right before an enemy's attack leaves an enemy vulnerable for a short amount of time. Now, I don't think we need to go too much into parrying, we've seen it in just about every trailer, but something that I did want to address is that in some of the new gameplay footage that we've got to see, we got to see that the parry was able to reflect an enemy shot and bounce it back at him. So along with timing your parries to block some attacks, you can also use it to reflect some as well. Now, the next ability is something that you'll have access when you gain your shield as well, your shield throw. And again, it's something that we've also seen in just about every trailer. But it goes on to say, need to get an enemy out of your way, or maybe they're just too far across the fight from you. Hold L1 to aim your shield and then throw it at an enemy by pressing R2. It says throwing your shield can damage and knock them down. Just remember that your shield throw has a short cooldown, so utilize it wisely. Now, I mentioned this cooldown in the UI breakdown. When you throw your shield, you actually see it go down, and then it'll start to fill back up once it recalls back to you. But what was also interesting in that breakdown that I did previously, it looks like that you'll be able to charge your shield throw as well, holding it down to potentially be doing more damage than a basic shield throw. Though that part's not confirmed, that's just what it appeared to be from that gameplay footage. Now, the next 5 different attacks are essentially abilities that you'll be able to unlock through your player's skill grid. So the first of the abilities that you'll be able to unlock is called Stomach Punch. It says up close and personal and just want to knock your enemy to the ground. Once unlocked from your skill grid, players will be able to utilize a stomach punch with their shield that knocks down enemies. Now again, and luckily for almost all of these, we've got to see footage for, and originally I thought this was an offensive parry, but it seems like it's an actual ability that you'll be able to use with your shield. Next is the Flat Bash. It says once unlocked from the skill grid, players can utilize a Flat Bash that can interrupt an enemy's red power attack, which are non-interruptible attacks, and I did cover that in one of my videos as well. It says, and petrify the ones breached by it. It says petrified enemies will turn into obsidian that can then be smashed into pieces across the battlefield. Now, this attack is pretty dope. It seems like a nice way to control some of the ads coming at you. Moving on to the third unlockable ability, it is called the Shield Ground Slam, and says once unlocked from your skill tree, players can perform a Shield Ground Slam to cause an area of effect damage. It says that this attack will also petrify enemies breached by it. Now, this ability sounds like the crowd control ability when it comes to the shields, and I dig it. Especially being able to petrify enemies that are breached, I think that's pretty dope. Now, the fourth ability for the shields that you'll be able to unlock is called the Shield Catch Area Blast. They kind of need to work on that name. But it says once unlocked, give yourself room to breathe by causing a large shield shockwave. We've seen this in a lot of trailers as well, but it says press L1 right as your shield throw returns to you to release a blast of energy. And this attack does look kind of nice for crowd control as well. I remember seeing in some of the clips that it looks like it was able to kind of stun enemies briefly. So if that's the case, that'll be a pretty nice ability to have as well. The more curious thing about it is if you can have all these abilities on at once, or you're gonna have to mix and match some of them for your specific builds. Now, the last ability is called the Shield Zoom Attack and says you want to get up close and personal with your weapon, but the enemy is too far away. Once unlocked, press press L1 right as your shield throw hits an enemy to dash quickly to their location and start swinging away. Now this is pretty much the reverse of the last ability, where if you press L1 right when it comes back to you, it'll release a wave of energy. This one, if you press L1 right as it hits an enemy, you'll dash to them and you can actually start attacking right away. If you're really trying to stay up close and keep fighting, especially if you want to be a tank and take all the aggro, this is probably a really good way to get in with your shield. So those are all of the different abilities that you can use with just your shield. Now, as I said, there are still so much more to get into when it comes to Godfall. Like I said, you have 5 different weapon classes. You have your Archon modes, you have battle banners, you have your life stones, your shields, which are essentially a weapon of its own. And then we still haven't really touched on the augments or skill trees and things like that. So when it comes to building your character in Godfall, it seems like you'll have a lot of variety and a lot of tools to kill enemies with. Personally, I hope there's some way that you can get some shield damage increase augments, because I'd love to see somebody just run through the whole game just killing enemies with their shield. That would probably be super insane and super dope to see. I don't have the patience to do that, but I think it'd be pretty dope. So let me know what y'all thought about this shield breakdown, and of all the different abilities minus parrying, which one is personally y'all's favorite. Other than that, I am going to wrap up the video. So like I always say, be sure to leave a like if you liked the video, leave a dislike if you didn't. Thank you all for watching. Links to all my social media accounts are in the video description, along with my Discord link. So if you want to stop by, definitely feel free to. So with that, I am out of here, guys. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the subs. Peace.